Hello again, it's Bill Jones with recapturefederalism.com. Bill Jones coming to you again from Freedom's Nest. Always good to be at Freedom's Nest. We're going to be talking about communism today, and really a controversial item. No one ever brings up, no one's ever talked about it in depth like I have. At least recently. I remember growing up, some talk about the Yalta Agreement. Yalta Agreement and communism. Yeah. Yalta Agreement and communism. That's what we're going to talk about. Communism. Yalta Agreement. First of all, we do the oath, which we always do. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, so help me God. As I say, first took that oath, July 1965. The enemy then was communism. The enemy now is communism. Foreign and domestic. True faith and allegiance to the same. There aren't too many of us left, I guess, making that. We have all these representatives and Supreme Court justices and people elected to office. They taking the oath, but I don't think they're taking the oath to protect and support and defend the Constitution of the United States, but that's another story. We'll get into that. Now we're going to mention the two core things with the Communist Manifesto. There are besides eternal truths such as freedom, justice, liberty I put in there, etc. They are common to all states of society, but communism abolishes eternal truth and abolishes all religion and all morality. Instead of constituting them on a new basis, it therefore acts in contradiction to all past historical experience. As I usually say, past historical experience with communism is slavery, murder, death, destruction. That's from Communist Manifesto, page 26. Then we have page 34 of the Communist Manifesto. Finally, they labor everywhere for the union and the agreement of the democratic parties of all countries. The communists disdain to conceal their views and aims. They openly declare that their ends can be attained only by the forcible overthrow of all existing social conditions. Let the ruling classes tremble at the communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries unite. Communist Manifesto, page 34. Yeah. I say that and looking on the screen, secret, silent American insurrection and revolutionary movement. That's what we've had going on since 1848. American insurrection going on from 1886. And that's the case, and that's the claim that I make. That means that the Democratic Party, the people who operate the Democratic Party in the 30s and the 40s, were communists. That's right. They were communists then as they are now. Communists before that, going all the way back to 1886 at the Haymarket Square insurrections. Workers of the world unite. Working men of all countries unite. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about FDR, Mr. FDR. I believe a full-fledged full barrel, loaded up for bear, Russian bear communist. And we'll talk about that and the Yalta Agreement. First of all, we should come in here at the Yalta Conference. And it's a proceedings of the Crimea Conference. Yalta's on the Black Sea in Crimea City. My interest back again, this is going back to when I was a kid hearing about it. Then we had the agreement with Obama and Iran, Kerry and Iran, and that brought up some thoughts about their conference, Yalta Conference, and the tie-in between the two. And there is a tie-in between the two. It has to do with communism. And people are probably going to be shaking their heads and shaking their fist at me and everything. How can you say that? Well, this is how you say it. It's all a cover-up, confidence game. Communist propaganda and agitation. First of all, I get this, this is from Yale Law School's Lillian Goldman Law Library and the Avalon Project. And give them credit on that. You get a lot of good stuff from that. So you have the Yalta Conference between Roosevelt, Prime Minister Churchill, and General Stalin. And it's the proceedings from the Crimea Conference. And it took place between February 4th and the 11th of 1945, just a couple months before Roosevelt would die. And when it starts out, is world organization. They're going to cut up the world. And cut up the world to where you have the bamboo curtain and the iron curtain. Cut it up by communists there, and then the benign communists, you know, the United States and Europe. Yeah. World Organization, it was decided, one, that the United Nations Conference on a proposed world organization should be summoned for Wednesday, 25 April 1945, and should be held in the United States of America. The nations to be invited to this conference should be United Nations as existed on 8 February 1945, and such appropriate associations, 8 nations in Turkey, and conference, and blah blah blah, Ukraine, and so 2 socialist republics, Ukraine and the White Russia. United States government on the behalf of 3 powers should consist of government of China, the French provisional government, in regard. Yeah. So this is where the United Nations got started from. Wow. And here they got a quote. The government of the United States of America, on behalf of itself and the governments of the United Kingdom, the Union of Socialist Republics, and the Republic of China, and the Provisional Government of the French Republic, invite the government of, to be named, To send representatives, the conference be held 25 April 1925 or sooner thereafter at San Francisco in the United States of America to prepare the charter for the General International Organization of the Maintenance of the International Peace and Security. So what you're going to have is a Security Council set up, and here we have the division of the world by United Nations, the United States, Mr. FDR, giving up the sovereignty to the United States to the United Nations. And that's right. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Read it and weep. Territorial trusteeship. Then they Declaration of Liberated Europe. We're going to divide that up. The Iron Curtain. They don't call it the Iron Curtain, do they? They call that later the Iron Curtain, aka Liberated Europe, dismemberment of Germany, the splitting up of Germany, zone of occupation of French control in the Council for Germany, reparations. Oh yeah. Okay. Major war criminals. They're going to have the war criminals. Poland end up at... Where's that going to end up? Yeah, it's going to be held by the socialist government. Yeah, we got the Polish provisional government. They'll end up in Yugoslavia. All of this control of by the three major powers, and then their sub-powers. They're dividing up the world, having it United Nations, the control of United Nations. Why? People power, they're globalist, and you'll hear this, the globalist, it's communism is what it is. You can call it anything you want. But Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, look at it, southeastern Europe. Bulgaria, Iran. Look at this. Look at this. They're cutting the world up. Oh, Japan. We're going to have an agreement regarding Japan. Yeah. And there it comes down. Joseph Stalin, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Winston Churchill. They cut up the world and they divided it. And gave up the sovereignty of all the nations into the United Nations. That was not a treaty, by the way. It's a conference and it's an agreement. It's no treaty. There is no treaty. Just an agreement cutting up the world. Wow. Unbelievable, isn't it? They cut up the world, the bamboo curtain and the iron curtain, and they made it the United Nations of the world. There you go. Good day. Which brings us right back to the silent, secret American insurrection and revolutionary movement. Yep. Yep. That's where we're at today. Getting ready for the final solution. The final class warfare outbreak. And as I say, there's ways of getting around this, not violently, at least to start out with, until they take the violent steps. Then you have to take a counteraction of violence, the defensive mode. But other than that, we have laws that we can utilize. There's laws that are in place. They don't enforce them, and they need to be enforced. And I'll get into that another day. And with that, I suppose that'll be it for today. If you're seeing this any place other than my website, if you go to my website, subscribe, get you on the list, give you some more information when it comes available. recapturefederalism.com. recapturefederalism.com. Good day.